my first career from 16 to 21 was I was a racehorse jockey.
Oh, you were a jockey, yeah.
Yeah, so I used to race horses.
On horses.
Very popular in England, France, the US. Not too popular in Spain. Not too popular. In
So you went to race jockey to startup founder.
I was racing the UK. Then I was
in the UK when you were
and then
there.
I went to the US for a year.
Okay.
And I stopped by Barcelona my mother was living there.
Okay.
And I fell in love with the city. And I said, what am I going to do here? And luckily, pure luck, I decided to learn to computer program. So I gave up racing and learned computer program.
By yourself?
Yep. So I did an online course. No, I did. There was
there was a course.
Yeah,
I mean, but no classes. You didn't take a diploma. What most people do.
Well, there was a diploma, but it wasn't a university. I was in a rush. I didn't want to study for 4 years.
That's the main thing.
Yeah. So I quickly learned to program. I got a job, and then very quickly, this thing called what we all know now is mainstream, but then it was the internet came along.
The internet, yeah.
And I remember finding email, and I was like super enthusiastic, and I'd be going to dinner with friends and saying, "Have you seen email?"
Really?
Yeah.
And they would say, "What's that?" And I'd have to explain, "Well, you can receive things, and it's like a fax but digital."
And
and
had
no
the
one
same
cared.
with Facebook.
And I was like, "Yeah, this guy's a bit of a nutter."
Really? People didn't care at the time.
And I was, and that's when I really became a tech evangelist a little bit. Like, just realized, wow, technology can just close the borders of communication. And I decided, that the internet came along, there was a great thing. So I set up a company, and luckily it went quite well. And I got started.
Luckily it's something I tend to, when I hear, to get a bit interested. But like, if you were to look at yourself back then, what set you apart from most people, except your curiosity for the internet? Was there something else that, in terms of self-awareness, what made you decide?
Because you just said, when you were with your friends, you were talking about email. They say, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Why were you different?
One thing I've had, I think I'm quite advantageous, is the fact that I didn't have any pressure. So I came to Barcelona. No, I didn't have a university degree.
Yeah.
So I didn't even really have an education. I left home at 16 to race horses.
Oh, so you were not in the high school, the classical system.
No. So I got to Spain, and really I didn't really have any pressure. My wife, for example, who I met very early on in Spain, is a lawyer.
Your wife was a lawyer?
Yeah.
And you met her when?
She was studying law.
Oh.
But what I mean is, she had a lot more pressure than me. So she was, society was making her make the right decisions. For me, it was very simple. I mean, it was just, I felt like doing this. I did it. Yeah. I mean, I didn't have a great job to give up. I didn't have all this thing. I think sometimes the less baggage you have in life. And I remember, and this is also the start of my career, and it's probably the best known venture capital fund in the history of tech. It's called Sequoia.
Sequoia, yeah.
And I remember, and Sequoia were around, they'd invested in Yahoo, they've invested in all these early startups, and today they're still investing. And one of their thesis, and I read this, was very interesting. It says they invest in first and second generation immigrants.
Yes, that's true.
And
yes,
why?
I read that. Yeah.
Why? Because they have no baggage. They have they just have to get on with things.
Yeah.
They don't have anything, they have to.
They have to make things
survive,
happen.
to
Exactly.
survive.
Yeah.
And I felt, when I read that, and this was around the 90s, the late 90s, I said, wow, I'm actually going on the right way. Because as I said, I arrived to Spain without very much, without much, no job prospects, no education.
And your mom was there, at least.
Yeah.
But wasn't she worried? African moms would be very worried.
Well, you got to remember, I'd already been working for 5 years by myself. I'd left home at 16 to race.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't go to Spain and live at home again.
You're at your own place.
Yes,
etc.
I was already an adult.
Okay, so you were early in all of those things.
Yeah,
not only
quite
in
early.
tech.
Yeah.
Ah, pretty interesting.
What did you learn as a jockey racer that can be useful as an entrepreneur?
Hello, moi c'est Marina.
Moi c'est Cora.
Kamkara.
Moi c'est Manouche.
Je m'appelle Lindsay Mabé.
Je m'appelle Sylvie Audouin.
Je fais partie de la tribu Entrepreneur State of Africa. J'ai rejoint la tribu avant tout pour soutenir le podcast parce que je trouve que c'est un podcast de qualité. Kahi et Moulaye font un travail extraordinaire avec leurs différents invités pour nous apprendre, pour nous faire grandir. Et je trouve que c'est génial. Également parce que j'avais envie de rejoindre une communauté de personnes qui ont envie d'apprendre, qui ont soif de réussir et qui ont envie de se développer, tout ça dans la bonne humeur. Donc, si ça te parle, n'hésite pas à nous rejoindre sur Telegram.
Probably discipline. I think professional sports, you need to be very disciplined.
Interesting.
Maybe I think horse racing is for the horse is the athlete. The jockey has to be in shape, but it's it's not like a 100-meter runner or it's the horse. So it's often patience.
Okay.
For example, you maybe sat on the best horse, but you have to wait for a gap to open. If you become impatient and pull the way around, you lose a lot of space. So it's, I think, patience, discipline, teamwork. You know, there's a trainer, there's a jockey, there's people who train the horses.
And maybe competitiveness or
always. But I think that's in genes. I think.
Really?
I'm super competitive.
But you were always competitive.
Yeah. Always.
Yeah, interesting.
I don't know if
so
that's good
you
or bad,
you will talk about Jumia later on, but for later. But it's important for us to ask that because a lot of people are dreaming about becoming entrepreneurs, and they think that when they are entrepreneurs, they will be more disciplined, they will be more patient, they will be more, And the thing we want to highlight is that is the way you are now. We will determine who you will be when you will be an entrepreneur. So that's why it's important to not just say, oh, you were in a joke here, but you see that's really important for us. And maybe you wanted to add something.
You felt a difference on that part. On when you started entrepreneurship, from what I listened about you, you seem to be the kind of entrepreneurs that people came to. You said that people came to you to propose the email opportunity, and then some of us came. Do you feel like this discipline and this passions was something people saw in you?
I think early on, I don't think people come to you. I think you have to earn that. So I built a small tech company, but when this person wanting to build a free email platform came to see me, it's because somebody recommended you should go and speak to Sasha. He's got a good tech team.
It's a reputation.
He's probably a good guy. He's probably ethical. I don't know. There's a lot of things. I don't know how the people describe. So I think you have to earn that respect.
You earn the respect. That's very true.
And I think there's a lot of ways of earning it. You can be very good. You can maybe be very easy to work with. Maybe you can be very humble.
Awesome.
Maybe it could be a lot of things. But I think you have to earn that at the beginning. But once that begins happening, then generally you'll find a lot of people who recommend you. I think the great thing I've had, one of the things I look back and is pretty much anyone I've worked with in the past has always wanted to work with me again.
Oh, that's a very good indicator.
And me also, that I've had so many people who've worked with me, both by my side, but also in my teams, who've gone on to build companies, and that is amazing.
Yeah,
that makes me feel super proud. That I've helped them. They've helped themselves, obviously. Founders, they're not built because somebody, but if I've instigated in any way, that makes me super proud.
Wow, very interesting.
So, before talking about the basis of Glovo, because you say you sold your first company in 1999.
So how old are you?
Yeah, no, during this period, like between 99 and the funding of Glovo, what's happened? Did you start other companies? Did you fail also?
So Star Media had a famous, quite a funny story. So I sold Latin Red to them in 1999. They received a lot of funding, so they went public on the NASDAQ. A big round of financing when that. They also did another round while they were public. So So they received a lot of capital, but they were really burning a lot of money, a lot of investment, not a revenue stream, and in the end they end up being sold to Orange.
Orange, the group.
Yeah, so they weren't called Orange then; they were called France Telecom.
France Telecom bought them. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Bought the internet business, and I was then for Star Media were literally going out of business. They were based in New York, so I ended up becoming CTO.
Oh, you were CTO then?
And I was running their internet business. They had a mobile business, they had an internet business, and Orange bought the internet business. And my team in Spain, we had about 60 programmers, ended joining Orange. Well, they've rebranded since then to Orange. They had a portal business called Wanadu. I don't know if you remember.
Wanadu, yes.
Of course, yeah.
Wow, yeah, remember?
Yeah. Flash from
the past. Yeah, I love it.
And yeah, it ended up integrating there. So they completely closed down the US business.
Okay.
And my Spanish tech team ended up running their service portals for the Spanish business in Spain and Latin America.
Wow.
Okay.
And well, I was there for a couple of years. It was, it's pretty good, but I wanted to do something else. And a company called Betfair gave me a call. I don't know, which is online gaming. Today it's called Flutter. They're a publicly traded company as well.
Called Flutter. Yeah.
We went public, and I joined them, and I ended up working with them 9 years, and it was an amazing experience.
9 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when you said they called you something, may I ask?
Sorry?
How did they call you? Like someone recommended you again?
No, I think so. What they probably thought is sports betting. So I come from the horse racing.
Oh, so you know
and
the sports.
a tech sort of entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And they were probably looking to expand their business into Europe and especially Spain. They said, hey, somebody said you should speak to Sasha. And I was a big fan. Betfair was a unique company as well because they built a peer-to-peer betting platform, which is users betting against other users, which was very unique at the time.
Yeah, people were betting against each other, which was not the case before.
Yeah. So they're a very, very innovative company. And it was a great. I mean, I learned a lot there. I met some really interesting people. In fact, I met our future chairman at Glovo was the person who hired me at Betfair.
Wait, sorry, what? Can you repeat that?
Our future chairman in Glovo. So we brought a chairman on.
In Glovo now?
Since we sold to delivery here, he's no longer there. But
okay.
But he helped us really expand the business. But he ended up expanding Uber's business internationally. So he after Betfair, he went on to do a few initiatives, but he basically built the first phase of Uber's international expansion.
Okay.
So he was super important person, and he ended up leaving Uber. And I gave him a call because he was a really good friend of mine. I said, hey, do you mind helping Glovo expand? And he said, okay.
Yeah. So what you said, people enjoyed working with you enough to, but he was the one that hired you at Betfair.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. He was my boss. Yeah.
So you hired your boss.
You hired your ex-boss.
Yeah.
That was
I'll send him this clip.
Exactly. Just send him this clip you're saying.
But he was absolutely fundamental in how we built the playbook to expand internationally. We're just in Southern Europe. We were doing quite well, but actually to build that playbook and how to replicate it. In the end, we're 25 countries, but we've been in close to 40 countries at any given time of Glovo, and we've expanded. So to have that and experience and have learned from mistakes.
Hop. Si vous écoutez ce podcast et que vous en avez écouté peut-être d'autres et que vous voulez avancer dans votre vie, vous améliorer, que ce soit en tant qu'entrepreneur, que vous voulez développer votre business ou en tant que salarié et que vous voulez développer votre carrière ou simplement même en tant qu'étudiant et que vous vous posez beaucoup de questions sur qu'est-ce que votre compréhension du monde peut vous permettre d'accomplir et gagner en temps et en argent, la tribu Telegram SOA est exactement ce qu'il vous faut. Et je vous explique pourquoi. Parce que c'est pas seulement que vous avez des Africains de toute origine. Autant, on a beaucoup de Camerounais, certes, mais on a aussi beaucoup d'Ivoiriens, des Togolais, de tout pays. On a des gens qui ne sont des fois même forcément d'Afrique. On a quelques Antillais. Donc, quand vous avez autant de diversité, de carrières, de métiers, il y a des entrepreneurs, il y a des salariés qui sont réunis. Il y a des jeunes, il y a des moins jeunes. En fait, ce qui est magique dans la tribu Telegram, en vrai, c'est que vous avez l'occasion d'avancer pour vous et d'apprendre facilement, de vous améliorer, d'exposer votre singularité, mais surtout de découvrir une communauté qui est vraiment poussée vers le haut. Et je sais qu'on en parle souvent de se dire, oui, il faut qu'on se pousse vers le haut, comment on le fait? C'est pas forcément en faisant des grandes choses. Et vous n'avez pas besoin d'attendre, j'aimerais qu'on n'attend pas chaque année le 1er janvier prendre des grandes résolutions. Vous m'écoutez là. Vous avez pris de votre temps pour écouter notre podcast plusieurs fois et j'aimerais que vous profitiez de ce moment pour aller jusqu'au bout et aller jusqu'au terme de l'action. C'est bien beau d'écouter et on a une de nos valeurs, c'est ça, c'est l'action, c'est pas juste le mouvement. Ne passez pas juste votre temps à écouter un podcast, à écouter des vidéos, à écouter. Mais si vous voulez faire des choses, la première étape que je vous propose, c'est avec juste un paiement de 100 000 francs CFA par an, de commencer à avancer sur le chemin. C'est le premier pas que vous faites. Il n'est pas si coûteux que ça au final quand je vous promets un parcours passionnant parce qu'on a des masterminds auxquels vous pouvez apporter vos problématiques. Kahi et moi, vous pouvez directement nous solliciter. Donc attention, ce n'est pas un accompagnement, mais vous pouvez nous contacter pour avoir notre avis sur une situation qui vous concerne, sur un point d'actualité. Et ça, je pense que ça a de la valeur. Mais surtout, vous avez aussi d'autres gens autour de vous qui ont une expérience, une expertise, qui eux aussi sont prêts à vouloir aider, à vous rendre meilleur. Donc il y a un book club, il y a un travail énorme qui a été fait, donc l'annuaire, pour savoir exactement qui est dans la tribu et quels besoins vous avez. Demain, vous voulez lancer un business sur Amazon FBA, on a des experts dessus. Ou vous voulez vous lancer dans la crypto, on a des gens qui l'ont fait. Ou vous voulez investir, au contraire, dans la BRVM, on a des gens qui l'ont fait. Voilà, donc en fait, c'est un peu une occasion pour vous de faire un premier pas vers une meilleure version de vous, une version plus épanouie, et avec d'autres Africains. Et je pense qu'à ce prix-là, 150 € par an, c'est pas mal, c'est donné. Donc, faites plus qu'écouter. Faites plus que consommer du contenu, agissez et rejoignez la tribu Telegram dès aujourd'hui. À très vite.